Soul Simmers, and welcome to a brand new video. Today we're doing another speed build of, I dare say, maybe one of the most challenging builds I've ever done. And it might not be for the obvious reason, so let me walk you through what we're building today, why I built this, and also, like any other of my speed builds, I'll probably not voice over the entire video, so I'll make sure to put on some nice music so you can watch the rest of the video, also with some like chill music while you're building yourself maybe. And at the end of the video, as always, I have some nice screenshots of the exterior, the interior, etc. if you're curious to see how it looked in first person mode. So today we are building an extremely cursed house, and that might be why I struggled so much to build it, because it's not pretty. How is one supposed to build a house in The Sims that is just genuinely not pretty to begin with? Like, objectively, I was gonna know that this build was gonna be a pain. So this build is called the 7-layer dip house because it has 7 dips, or like 7 indents on the back. From the front, this house actually looks relatively normal. If you were to pass by in a car, you would probably never even notice that this house was so weird looking until you look at it from the side, and then you realize that this build, I don't know who approved it, I don't know who thought IRL that this was a good idea, but someone, I don't know, they had a bad day, I guess. Maybe they were not happy and they were like, you know what, let me just make the most cursed house ever. So like I said, this is actually a house IRL. Some people are living here. Unfortunately, there is not much more than the couple of pictures that we put in the corner of the screen for this speed build. There's no like interior pictures, there's no floor plan. A friend of mine who's actually an architect also did this build on stream, and she also couldn't find any of the pictures or like any of more resources than the ones that we have right here. And she like actually looked into databases and stuff from her architecture background. So I'm guessing these are just the only pictures available on the internet. However, every now and then I see this picture circulating on Twitter, and it is one of those houses that it just breaks the internet. Every time someone posts it, everyone goes wild over how weird this house looks. So if any one of you guys knows about a floor plan or any more pictures, I would absolutely love to see them. However, the pictures circulating on Twitter is not the reason I decided to build this. One of my Twitch moderators actually sent it to me in DMs because she knows that I absolutely despise builds like this. I just cannot deal. My Sims builder heart, where everything needs to look pretty, just cries over build like this. So she sent it to me to kind of mess with me and be like, haha, bet you cannot build this in The Sims. And then I was like, you know what, this sounds like a fun challenge. Let's see if I can actually do this. Let's see if I can put myself to the test, put my patience to the test, and actually build this house. So that, I think, was the first challenge that we ran into, is simply just building this. It was really hard to make something that was bound to be ugly from the start. Then the second challenge was the fact that it was kind of hard to get the proportions right. Actually, earlier in the video, you kind of saw me first place the floor plan, or like kind of place the outside of the build, and then going back and resizing it because I had realized that I had made everything too big. I think this is a common trend in The Sims though, of starting out and then realizing things are too big and wanting to make it smaller. But it felt so counterintuitive to have to make this smaller, because that meant that we would have dips that were only 1 tile wide, which already made me scared of the floor plan. Also, you just noticed that I actually had to add another dip because someone in Twitch chat told me that I forgot one. So first it was a 6-layer dip house, and then they were like, you know what, bro, I think you actually forgot part of the build. So then I had to add something extra, and that just made me even so more scared for the floor plan. However, I think actually I did pretty well on the floor plan. I kind of was surprised by myself here. I also kept saying on Twitch stream where we actually built this that I was so surprised by the fact that I managed to make a floor plan that actually made sense, but somehow the weird corners kind of worked in my advantage, and just it felt like the floor plan just kind of made itself, if that makes any sense. So I'm really happy with how the floor plan turned out. We ended up with a kitchen and a living room downstairs, a half bath with a laundry space downstairs. The main bedroom with an ensuite bathroom is also downstairs, and they actually end up having kind of like a walk-in wardrobe / nursery. We end up furnishing it as a nursery, but if you were to download this house and you're actually going to play in it and you don't have a baby, you could just remove the nursery furniture and you could just make it into a walk-in wardrobe. So the downstairs bedroom actually turned out to be a really nice room. If I ever have my own house, I would love to have a room like that. And then upstairs, we actually end up with a kid's bedroom, an office, a half bath or like a hall bathroom, and a teenage bedroom with an ensuite. So this house does have relatively many bathrooms compared to bedrooms, but I mean, you have to do something with the weird corners, right? And I think also that's something, speaking of weird corners, you see me furnishing the kitchen here now. I really wanted to put the kitchen in that weird corner because I felt like I could make it work. It was a bit of a struggle at first, and I ended up with a relatively unusual kitchen layout, but I think I did figure it out in a way that actually made it look really cute. And I think I want to challenge myself to do more unconventional kitchen spaces in the future, because just putting them against the longest wall or like in a corner usually makes a lot of sense, but this turned out really cute and it looked really homey and cozy in the end. So I think I might want to challenge myself to do this more often in the future. Then something else is that we actually polled in Twitch chat whether I could make this build pretty or not, because obviously if you see the pictures from the original build in the outside, it looks horrendous. They don't have any landscaping, they don't have a backyard. And I asked my chat, I was like, am I allowed to make it pretty? Am I allowed to add landscaping and stuff to kind of spice up the build? And a lot of people were like, you know what, that could be an extra fun challenge to see if you can actually make this ridiculous build pretty. So I went for it and I think I did pretty well in the end. I'm really happy with how it turned out. I think landscaping the front and like kind of making a cute backyard helped so much in hiding some of the weird parts of this build. So eventually in the screenshots, I don't think it even looks that bad, because I think the original build also just got emphasized on how bad it looks because there's nothing else around it. So there's nothing to distract you from how weird like those 7 layers dips look. Like I said earlier, we built this on stream, so if you're ever interested to see builds like this happen live, feel free to join my Twitch streams. I'm live every Monday, Wednesday, Friday. We do a lot of building in The Sims. I also do gameplay. We play like the Not So Berry challenge over there, which is a lot of fun. So if you're ever interested in like co-building stuff like this, because I do love to collaborate with chat on what we do with builds, feel free to join. The link is in the description box down below. And one of the things we actually voted on with chat together was what kind of color scheme we should go for in this house, because I was a little bit lost. The outside of the house doesn't really give any direction. It's kind of like grayish blue, and the front door is bright yellow, and I was like, how am I gonna make this work? I was struggling a little bit. I felt a lack of inspiration, and then someone in chat actually suggested that we base the entire color scheme off of a rug, and we just picked a bunch of rugs. We put them outside. I just picked like a lot of options. I think it was 4 or 5 options that I felt like I could make work, and then chat actually voted on which of those 5 we were actually going to use, and everyone kind of settled on the one that we used over here. So you can see me also using like a lot of dark blue, a lot of orange accents, and then kind of the darker brown and the beige as helping colors or like more neutral colors. And I think it turned out really cute. This is definitely a color scheme that I don't think I would have ever used had it not been for like challenging myself to base everything off of a rug. So if you're ever struggling to figure out a color scheme for your builds, this is one of my favorite ways now to do it. Not even just a rug, but like any item in the game that you can just use as inspiration and kind of build from. And I also felt like the orange and the blue made it look really homey, but at the same time also kind of eccentric. It's like anything, it's not like anything I've ever done before. Let's just say it like that. Then something else is that like I said, I actually ended up giving the house a small backyard and a cute front yard. So this house is built like a family home. I tried to add as many things as possible to actually make it feel like a family home. So there's like an outdoor barbecue space. There is like a swing set in the front. There is a pool in the back. So if you ever want to play here, it is completely functional. I have to be honest, I haven't play tested this build, but I think from my building experience, everything in this build should work. I, again, cannot claim to have play tested it, so if you do end up playing in it and something is wrong, feel free to just go ahead and change it. But I tried to make it feel like a really homey and like family build, so it is easy to kind of download it and just start playing with your family in it. The house is on a 20 by 30 lot, so it's also not a really big house. I think in the end, just in general, this house is not really big, which is something that I actually prefer for gameplay. So if you are someone who's looking for a nice house to play in, even though it might look a little weird, I think it turned out really cute in the end. So I might even want to play in it just like off of content creation, just for myself, play in it for a little bit, because I think that's fun. And it is up on my gallery gallery. So my gallery ID is just the same as my name here on YouTube, or my name everywhere, basically, Rosannatxt. I have a bunch of other builds on my gallery as well, so if you're ever looking for community lots or more creative builds, feel free to go and check all of those out. I actually have a bunch more speed builds, so if you're enjoying this one, I have a full playlist with all of my speed builds that I've ever posted on my channel linked as like a full playlist on my homepage of my channel. I'll also make sure to link it in the description box down below, so if you're enjoying speed builds like this, I have some that are more like the houses like this, more like challenging. I also have ones where I get really creative and I like try to recreate IRL situations or locations, so feel free to go check it out if that's your cup of tea. If you like this specific video, feel free to give it the thumbs up because it really helps the video get to more people. And let me know in the comments down below what your favorite part of this build is, if you have it. And otherwise, just leave your favorite emoji because it really does help the video get to more people if people comment on it. And thank you for wanting to do that potentially. And with all of that being said, I'm just going to leave you guys with some really nice music in the background so you can just watch the rest of this video while you maybe game a little bit of yourself as well. And with all of that being said, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye, everyone.